The fundamental unit of life. The earth comprises both living and the non living components. Both living and non living components are mainly made up of matter, and the matter has weight and also occupies space. Matter comprises the smallest particles called molecules. Molecules in turn made up of atoms.
Both living and non-living things are made up of numerous molecules and atoms. The molecules of any substance are arranged in a definite pattern. Example, water has one atom of oxygen to which are attached two hydrogen atoms. Hence, the molecular formula of water is H2O. Similarly, ammonia molecule has one nitrogen atom attached to it and three hydrogen atoms. Hence, the molecular formula for ammonia is NH3. Glucose is a simple sugar that gives energy to the living system. Its molecule has 6 carbon atoms, 12 hydrogen atoms and 6 oxygen atoms. So, the molecular formula for glucose is C6H12O6. In glucose, there are several compounds containing carbon. All these are called organic substances. Organic compounds are composed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Often, they also have nitrogen. Example, urea. Life as a product of chemical changes. Life on Earth is presumed to be formed by a number of slow and continuous chemical changes. In the beginning, inorganic and organic molecules in water combined and produced various substances generally called building blocks. They include sugars, organic acids, amino acids, etc. These building blocks, on aggregation, produce larger biological molecules, which later concentrated to form the primitive life in the form of cells. Cellular nature of living organisms. We all know well today that all living forms are made up of smallest, ultimate units called cells. They may be either unicellular, that is having single cell, or multicellular, that is made up of many cells. A cell is a fundamental, structural, and functional unit of an organism. In 1665, Robert Hooke gave the name cell to this basic unit. Cell biology or cytology is the branch of biology that deals with the study of cell. Development of cytology. The contributions of many earlier scientists, mainly Robert Hooke, Leeuwenhoek, M.J. Schleiden, and T. Schwann, have led to the development of cytology. In recent days, developments of cytology are manifold. Robert Hooke, an English scientist, in 1665 was the first person to reveal the cellular nature of living organisms. He observed a thin slice of cork under the microscope. He found the honeycomb-like chambers. He called them as cells and thought of cells being filled with juices. But actually, what he saw were empty spaces, not true cells left behind after living portions of cells had destroyed. Many workers of 17th century also used microscopes to study living organisms. Microscopes of different models were constructed for a better study. Hence, the developments in cytology went parallel with the developments in the construction of various kinds of microscopes. This tool opened up a new world. Dutch businessman Antony van Leeuwenhoek developed interest in making lenses, and this led to the development of microscopes. He studied both living and non-living things with the microscopes. He made an observation of his own teeth crack and found small moving bodies which he called them as animalcules. 19th century witnessed various developments, particularly in constructing better compound microscopes. In 1838 to 39, two German scientists, Schleiden and Schwann, put forth a theory, popularly known as cell theory. This theory became one of the major milestones in the field of cytology. The main principles of cell theory are: all living organisms are made up of cells. The body of living organisms is made up of one or more cells. All cells arise from the division of pre-existing cells.
Okay. ಈಗ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್. Cell is a basic structural functional unit of all living organisms. Study of the cell and cell components is known as cytology. And the persons who dedicated for this study of the cell is Robert Hooke, who coined the cell. ರಾಬರ್ಟ್ ಹುಕ್ಕನ್ನವರು ಸೆಲ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ನೇಮನ್ನು ನಾಮಕರಣ ಮಾಡಿದವರು. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಡನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ವ್ಯಾನ್ ಇವರಿಬ್ಬರು ಸೆಲ್ ಥಿಯರಿನ ಇಂಟ್ರಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದವರು. ಸೆಲ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ? ಈಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಮೇಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಆಫ್ cells, and it may be more than a cell. It may be unicellular, it is only one. If it is multicellular, more number of cells. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ third principle ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ? All cells arise from the pre-existing cell. So the daughter cell always arises from the parent cell. ಇದನ್ನೇ ಸೆಲ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ?
Structure of a cell is better studied using an electron microscope. When an object of minute size is observed under electron microscope, the highly magnified image of the object is caught on a photographic film. This is called electron photomicrograph. Such a structure revealed by the electron microscope is called fine structure or ultrastructure. Shape and size. Cells vary both in their shape and size. They may be spherical, oval, elongated, spindle shaped, or sometimes irregular. Example: cocci bacteria is spherical, yeast cell is oval, nerve cell is elongated, euglena and some muscle cells are spindle shaped, and amoeba is irregular. Size of a cell varies from a few microns to several millimeters. Cell structure. Any cell shows three main parts, namely cell membrane, cytoplasm, and the nucleus. Cell membrane. The cell is surrounded by a thin membrane called cell membrane or plasma membrane. It occurs in both plant and animal cells. The cell membrane allows only certain molecules to pass through it. Hence, cell membrane is also called semi-permeable or selectively permeable membrane. This function keeps the inside composition of cell almost stable, which is essential for the survival of the cell. The movement of molecules across membrane takes place through the following physiological processes.
This is animal cell.
Diffusion. It is a process movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to region of lower concentration. The difference in concentration is called the concentration gradient. Hence, diffusion is also defined as the movement of molecules along the concentration gradient. Osmosis. This is a special kind of diffusion involving water or solvent molecules from a region of higher concentration to region of lower concentration to a semi-permeable membrane. Diffusion and osmosis are purely physical processes which do not use energy and are hence together called passive transport. However, often cell also absorbs or removes essential substances against the concentration gradient, that is, from an area of lower concentration gradient to an area of higher concentration. This is known as active transport. It uses energy. The movement of sodium and potassium ions across the cell membrane is an example of active transport. Absorption of food molecules in the small intestinal wall involves both passive and active transport mechanism. Experiment to demonstrate diffusion. Place few crystals of potassium permanganate in a beaker containing water. The purple color gradually spreads and finally the water becomes completely colored. This is due to diffusion of molecules. Open the mouth of a perfume bottle. The smell of the perfume gradually spreads to the whole area. This is also due to diffusion. Experiment to demonstrate osmosis. Take a potato, make it into two halves. Remove the skin of one half and make a cavity in the middle so that it becomes a cup. Place a small volume of strong sugar solution in the cup. Mark the level of the solution using a pin. Now, place the cup in a trough containing water. Leave for a few hours and observe later. There is an increase in the sugar solution in the cup due to the osmotic movement of water through the semi-permeable cell membrane of cells of potato. Similarly, keep raisins, that is dry grapes, in water for some time. The raisins swell in size due to the movement of water into raisins of water by the process of osmosis. Cell wall. In plants, the cells have a rigid cover outside the cell membrane. This is called the cell wall. It is generally made up of cellulose. The cell wall is also made up of other forms of carbohydrates like hemicellulose and pectic substances. Cell wall provides definite shape to the cell rigidity and support to the plant body. Cytoplasm. It is the fluid part of the cell, enclosed within the cell membrane. It is a gel-like substance composed of large amount of water and many chemical substances. Cytoplasm contains large number of structures which are engaged in different life processes. These are called cell organelles. They are often differentiated into membranous organelles. Example: endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, vacuoles, mitochondria, plastids, and lysomes, and also into non-membranous organelles. Example: ribosomes and centrioles. Membranous organelles. Endoplasmic reticulum. This is a network of membranes scattered throughout the cytoplasm of the cell. It extends between the cell membrane and the nucleus. Endoplasmic reticulum forms cell skeleton or cytoskeleton and hence provides mechanical support to the cell. It also helps in the transport of materials from one part of the cell to the other. A part of endoplasmic reticulum will have ribosomes attached on its membranes, giving a rough appearance. This is called rough endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum without the ribosomes is called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Golgi complex. It is a compact cytoplasmic organelle made up of different flattened membranous structures. Numerous vesicles are cut off from their edges. It is believed to be associated with the process of cell secretion. Vacuoles. Vacuoles are common in most plant cells but are very rare in animal cells. There may be one or more vacuoles in a single cell. The vacuoles encloses watery fluid within it called a cell sap. Vacuole is bound by a membrane called tonoplast. Cell sap contains salts, sugars, organic acids, and waste products dissolved in water. A plant vacuole has a variety of functions. It can act as a storage organelle for both nutrients and waste products. Mitochondria. Mitochondria are oval or rod-shaped or filamentous organelles. Each mitochondrion is made up of two membranes, an outer and an inner membrane. The outer membrane is smooth and tightly stretched, while the inner membrane has number of inward finger-like poles called cristae. The inner membrane encloses a fluid called mitochondrial matrix. The matrix is composed of proteins, lipids, DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, and RNA, that is ribonucleic acid. Mitochondria are the respiratory centers of the cells where carbohydrates and fats get completely oxidized into carbon dioxide and water, releasing energy. The energy released is stored as ATP molecules, that is adenosine triphosphate molecules. It is the ATP molecule that provides energy for any biological function. Therefore, the mitochondria are also called the powerhouses of the cells. Chloroplasts. They are the cytoplasmic organelles present in green plants only. They contain a green pigment called chlorophyll. Like mitochondria, they are made up of double membranes. The inner membrane encloses the stroma or the matrix, in which lie rows of discs made up of membranes called the grana. The plural is grana. The chloroplasts are the organelles where solar energy is converted into chemical energy. This process is called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which all green plants synthesize their own food. Hence, green plants are also called autotrophs or producers. Lysosomes. They are generally spherical in form, bound by a membrane and contain several hydrolytic enzymes. These enzymes help in digestion of chemical substances within the cell. This is known as intracellular digestion. They also bring about digestion of the entire cell itself. This is known as autolysis or digestion itself. Hence, lysosomes are referred to as suicide bags of the cell. Non-membranous organelles. Ribosomes. They are minute particles which can be seen only under electron microscopes. They are rich in RNA and proteins. Ribosomes are found either attached to the membranes of the endoplasmic reticulum or scattered freely in the cytoplasm. They help in the manufacture of proteins. Hence, ribosomes are described as the protein factories of the cell. Centrioles. The cells of some algae, fungi, and all animal cells have centrioles in their cytoplasm. They are absent in cells of higher plants. The centrioles are always found in pairs, and a pair generally occurs near the nucleus. Each centriole is a hollow cylinder and lies at right angle to each other. Centrioles with transparent cytoplasm around them are known as centrosomes. They help in the formation of spindle apparatus during cell division. Nucleus. It is the most prominent part of the cell. The nucleus is surrounded by a double-layered membrane called the nuclear membrane. Inside the nucleus is the fluid called nucleoplasm. Placed in the nucleoplasm is a delicate network of chromatin material. This material, during cell division, condenses into chromosomes. Chromosomes are chemically nucleoproteins, that is, nucleic acid plus proteins. The chromosome number is always constant for a given species of organisms, but varies from species to species. Example, the cells of human body carry 46 chromosomes, that is 23 pairs of chromosomes. These chromosomes of cells are loaded in a linear form with hereditary units called genes. Each gene determines a particular character of an organism. During the formation of a new progeny or generation, chromosomes with genes are passed on from the parents to the offspring. This is called inheritance. The genes are chemically made up of DNA or deoxyribose nucleic acid. The nucleus controls and coordinates all the activities of the cell. Nucleolus. Nucleolus contains one or more spherical dark bodies called nucleoli. It is the site of RNA synthesis and plays an important role in the control of protein synthesis. Cell inclusions. They are non-living substances found in the cytoplasm. They are more common among plant cells. The cell inclusions are represented by various chemicals which are present as storage products, example, starch granules and oil droplets, secretory products, example, gums, resins, etc., and excretory products, example, calcium oxalate crystals and calcium carbonate.